This is big breaking news. An emergency has been declared in the state of Ohio, and quarantine zones are being set up. Certain farms and certain areas are under quarantine, and they're asking for help from the federal government as well too, to expand these operations and expand testing. This is a major clampdown on our food supply. So let's get into all the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting every day multiple videos, keeping you guys updated on this big news, and it just helps to get these warnings out. I appreciate that. So this is what's going on right now in the state of Ohio. 2 different counties have declared a state of emergency, and this is due to this bird stuff that is going around. And they are saying that any farms or any local residents, even, they're saying it doesn't matter how small the flock is or how large the flock is. That's what the Ohio Department of Agriculture Director Brian Baldridge is saying. He's saying no matter how small or large the flock is, they are susceptible and they could be dealing with these regulations, all right? And they are saying any farms in this area are going to be, the chickens and birds are going to be cold, and they are also saying that they're going to put them in quarantine. This is happening in Mercer County and Drake County, Ohio. It says here as well too that certain farm owners are not worried about it. All right, I want you to listen to this really quick. This is a local news report, and then we will talk more about what's going on. Listen to this really quick. This is local 13, ABC 13 News.
New at 6. Right now, the Department of Agriculture says the bird flu is hitting Ohio harder than any other state.
Yeah, led 2 Ohio counties to declare a state of emergency. And tonight, we're hearing from a local farmer about how he's viewing that threat.
IT reporter Sophie Bates speaking with the Ohio Department of Agriculture. She has the story for us new at 6. Sophie.
Yeah, Christian, that local farmer I spoke with lives just about 40 minutes from those counties where that outbreak is, but he says he isn't worried about the outbreaks. However, the Ohio Department of Agriculture is taking a different tone. Bird flu is threatening millions of chickens across the country and here in Ohio. But one local farmer says he isn't worried.
I'm not saying nothing will ever happen, but right now I feel pretty much at ease about the way we're doing things.
Ralph Schlater is the owner of the Canal Junction Farm in Paulding County, where he's currently raising about 500 egg-laying hens. Because he has a smaller flock, he says he can take better care of the birds, which he believes will give them a better chance if the H5 bird flu virus ever comes to his farm.
They get more exercise. They can breathe cleaner air. I think it just makes a huge difference.
But the Ohio Department of Agriculture disagrees.
It doesn't matter if it's a small flock or a larger flock. They're susceptible.
Brian Baldridge, the director of Ohio's Department of Agriculture, says this strain of bird flu has been affecting flocks in the U.S. since early 2022.
We're not the only state to go through this. Unfortunately, right now we have the largest outbreak.
Between 2022 and 2024, about 9.4 million chickens were killed here in Ohio in an attempt to control the disease. Since the beginning of the year, that number has jumped to 12 million.
We are constantly monitoring that just to try to work through this as quickly, swiftly, and hopefully the end is very, very soon.
Ohio's Department of Agriculture director says customers do not need to worry about contracting the virus from eggs or meats as long as those foods are properly cooked. Lee?
All right, so you heard that there. That was just a local news report. Some farmers in the area are saying that they're not too worried about it because they are doing best practices, right? And this is a major clampdown of our food supply, right? And the number of birds, it's a big number, right? It's a very big number, but it's also been going on for years, and it shouldn't just be spiking the prices of eggs, right? For some reason, I'm just not understanding how the prices of eggs are spiking so much so suddenly, because this has been going on for years, this culling of these birds, and all of a sudden it's crazy. And if you've seen videos of, there's a couple different ways that they do it. All right, they come in with full hazmat gear, and sometimes they just come in with trash bags and they're stuffing birds in the bags, live birds. Okay, it's one of the videos I've seen. I've also seen videos of this weird foam stuff that they put out. So if the chickens are all in like a hoop house or a chicken house, something along those lines, they're all kind of in one area, then they will flood the area with this really thick foam that covers their heads and suffocates them. And that's one of the ways that they do it as well too. All right, so it's like this mass culling of tons of birds. And it is affecting our food supply, but at the same time, it shouldn't be. Like, chickens grow pretty fast, right? They should be able to replace these birds relatively quickly, right? And there are hundreds of millions of laying birds. I believe there's over 300 million in the US alone. So it shouldn't be spiking egg prices this much, this suddenly, just the past like month or so. It's been crazy. All right, I don't know what's going on, but it seems maybe somebody's like taking advantage of the situation. Like, yes, there is this stuff going on. They're getting rid of all these birds. But I don't know, maybe somebody is like jacking up prices to take advantage of the situation, right? And this is leading to, they just approved conditionally stuff for the chickens, right? I don't even really want to get into it in this video, but they just gave a conditional approval to put stuff into the chickens for this bird stuff that's going around, this bird cough, this cow cough that's going around, because it's affecting the cows too. And the milk, apparently, they're quarantining dairies all over the place. Any cows that show up positive for this as well are put under quarantine. So this is happening in California as well too. Now it's happening in Ohio, right? And it also goes on to say here that they are requesting more money from the federal government for things like testing and emergency financial support. It says here that both counties, Dark County and Mercer County, both stated that this, quote, poses a severe risk to the economic stability of the agriculture sector of their respective communities, creating a, quote, ripple of effects and impacting employment, supply chain demands, price inflation, and stability of small businesses. Both counties also stated that the affected poultry farms are, quote, vital to the local economy and provide essential food products to the region, state, and nation. It says that both counties are asking for, quote, the ability to perform more testing on bars that have tested positive but aren't showing any symptoms yet. It says emergency financial support to poultry farmers in the counties who have been directly affected by the outbreak. Resources such as personal protective equipment, disinfectants, and biosecurity supplies. Support for veterinary professionals and disease control experts. And relief programs, all right, state and federal relief programs, add more money to those. So they're going full throttle on this, and if they get money for this, for more testing, then they're going to see more positive results as well too, even if they're asymptomatic, where they're not really showing anything. they're most likely going to start requiring weekly, bi-weekly, monthly testing of flocks, commercial flocks, and they're already doing this in California right now with poultry and dairy. They're requiring, I think it's like bi-weekly testing, right? I made a whole video on it a couple months ago now when they first announced this, maybe at the beginning of January. Okay, so let me know what you guys think down below. Please just hit it up for me down there to help get these warnings out so people know. And this is your warning sign too, to just get some chickens, right? And if you can't get chickens, find a local farmer that you can support, right? You can buy their eggs. I mean, you know, a year or two ago, local farms charging $5 or $10 a dozen, you were probably like scoffing at it. And it's like, oh, that's too much money. Like $5 a dozen, $10 a dozen. This local farm charging. Now look at it. Now they're charging $10 a dozen at the grocery store, right? And I've seen close to $10, right? I've seen like over $9 a dozen for eggs around where I'm at, just for normal eggs. This is not even the organic or cage free or any of that stuff. These are just the normal eggs where I'm at. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're getting chickens too, if you're planning on it this season. It's already almost March. Springtime is rolling in, and it's time to get some spring chickens, right? If you're going to do that, now's the time. So thank you guys. Hope you guys are staying safe, staying prepared, staying stocked up out there. All right, and if you have chickens too, have stockpiles of food for them, right? Have some extra food, a couple extra bags of food for your chicks, right? We're kind of restarting our flock a little bit here. All right, we have some of our chicks. We used to have a ton of chicks. We got rid of some of them, and we actually lost a bunch of them too to a raccoon, right? And I tried to get this dang raccoon, but I could not catch it. Very smart raccoon, and it got a lot of my chickens, and rooster got 2 of my roosters and a lot of my girls, laying girls, right? This happened probably 6 months ago now, and we gave away some after that too. So we've just had a small flock currently, but we're going to be rebuilding our flock soon, right? Getting some more chickens and restarting, right? And these chickens were in cages all the time. They were not out. They were not free ranging. It was just middle of the night. He dug a hole and got into the coop, right? And just, it's crazy. Slaughter, right? All the chickens. Raccoons are brutal, okay? And then it's the craziest thing. The next day, early in the morning, all right, this is how I noticed it, because I saw a bald eagle in my yard. Okay, I was like, what the heck is this bald eagle doing in my yard? Like walking around in my yard. I know I'm kind of ranting here at the end of the video. This bald eagle is in my yard though, no joke. Real bald eagle, white head, everything. I have pictures of it. I took a video because I was like, what's this bald eagle doing early in the morning looking out in the yard? And then I see it's like dragging something, and I was like, what is that dragging? It looks like it's dragging like some, like a carcass or something. And I go out there, and the eagle was flying off and eating one of my birds that the raccoon got, right? So the raccoon dragged a couple of the birds out of the coop, right? And then the eagle saw it, or maybe it was alive, maybe it was a bird that got out, and then the eagle attacked it. I'm not sure the timeline here. The eagle saw just one of my chickens run around and swoop down. The hawks and the eagles there were insane, right? and it was just eating one of my chickens, and then it flew off with it once I went out there, because I was like, what the heck's going on? And then that's when I discovered, all right, this is what happened last night. So make sure you have your chickens secure too. Make sure, right? Raccoons, we had a bobcat trying to get them. I've had a bobcat try to get them multiple times in multiple different states too. I've had bobcats try to get my chickens, but at the same place a bobcat tried to get them, and then an eagle tried to get them, and a hawk was getting them too, right? When they were little, got some of my chicks. So make sure they're safe, make sure they're protected, walked up, careful free ranging them. You can if you really want to, but make sure you keep an eye on them, or you're probably going to lose some, especially if you have raptors, hawks, eagles in your area. So thank you guys. Hope you guys have big blessings for your life and your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.